Assalamu-o-Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. From Tasheel Un Nahw book, we are going to learn today section 3.10 التوابع. Definition. First read from the book and then I will be explaining you as usual on the board. Definition. التوابع is an ism which follows the ism before it in terms of i'rab and some other things which are vary from tabi'un to tabi'. The preceding ism is called matbu. The amil which governs the matbu also governs the tabi'. There are 5 tawabi': an-natu as-sifat, at-takidu at-tawkidu, al-badalu, al-atfun biharfin atfun nask, and the 5th one is atful bayan. An-natu was sifatu. The natu or the sifat is of two type: natun haqiqiyun or natun sabiyun. Natun haqiqiyun, it is a word which describes the actual matbu. As mentioned in section 1.4.3, the nat follows the man'ut, which is the matbu in the case in the following i'rab being marifa or nakira, gender being singular, dual or plural. Don't worry if you are not getting all this right now. I'm going to explain you soon, inshallah. The nat can be a complete sentence in which case the man'ut must be nakira. The nat, which is a sentence, must have a zamir which refers to the nakira man'ut. Ja'ani waladun yarkabu darraja. A boy who was riding the bicycle came to me. Ja'a fail, ni maf'ul, waladun nakira man'ut, yarkabu fail, huwa fa'il, ad-darraja maf'ul bihi, nat then becomes fa'il. Okay. Yes. So first let me read up to here and then I will explain, inshallah. Then the second example is that note, if a marifa is followed by a sentence, it will be khabar or a hal. Al-waladu yarkabu darraja. The boy is riding the bicycle. Here al-waladu is mubtada and yarkabu darraja is khabar. Ja'anil waladu yarkabu darraja. So here al-waladu is zulhal and yarkabu darraja, the whole sentence is hal. Ja'a rajulun alimun. Ja'a fail, rajulun mawsuf, alimun sifat. So it can be known as matbu and tabe, it become file. Ja'a rajulun abuhu alimun. Ja'a fail, rajulun mawsuf, abuhu muzaf mubtada, alimun khabar. Muzaf muzaf ilay sifat, rajulun abuhu alimun mawsuf, sifat becomes file of ja'a fail. Now let's also understand the nat. First read the natun sabiyun and then I'm going to explain you everything on this board, inshallah. Natun sabiyun, it is a word which does not describe the matbu but describes that what is connected to the matbu, like ja'ani waladun alimun abuhu. A boy whose father is learned came to me. Here alimun is describing abuhu, which is connected to the matbu walad. In the other word, it is describing the matbu indirectly. In natun sabiyun, the man'ut and the nat must correspond in two aspects: i'rab and being marifa or nakira. Point number 2, the nat will be always singular irrespective of whatever the man'ut is, singular, dual or plural. Hatani soratani jamilun itarahuma. The natun will correspond in gender to the word after it. Ja'atis sayyidatu al-aqilu waladuha. Sentence analysis. Ja'at imra'atun alimun ibnuha. A woman whose son is learned came. Okay, now exercise. So first let's understand the whole concept of nat, manut and tabe, matbu, and then we will be solving the exercise, inshallah. Okay. So what is tabe and matbu? Okay, 1 second. Okay. So this chapter is about tabe and matbu. Tabi'un, matbu'un. First understand what is the meaning of tabe and matbu. Tabe means under and matbu means influencer. So the matbu can be influencer and the tabe is the influenced one. For example, if matbu hits and tabe react on that hitting, so the matbu is here, this one is matbu, hitting is matbu, and the reaction is called tabe. If you are not able to understand this right now, so let's understand this with example. There is a man who owns a horse. Now this man give command to the horse and horse accept the command and do what exactly his owner tell him to do. So here this man is matbu and this horse is the tabe, because this horse comes under the possession of this man matbu. So what is matbu? Matbu is someone who influence some other thing, another one, and tabe is the thing or person who is influenced by any influencer. For example, understand this. There is a word A and there is a word B. Now if A follows some certain rules, and this B, that is the tabe, comes under the possession of matbu, so this word B also need to follow the same rule. For example, if a owner and a slave both visit a king's palace, now there the owner is bowing his head, so the slaves also need to bow his head. Why? Because his master is already bowing the head and he need to follow the master. So here in this concept, matbu is the original, or you can say it as a honor, and the tabe is something which is which comes under the honor. Now let me give you an example which will help you to understand the tabe and matbu. For example, when you are saying rajulun alimun, and now we already know that between mawsuf sifat there must be a 4 similarities found together at the same time. So in mawsuf sifat, who is the real word? It means which word has the more power and which word is the influencer and which word is being influenced by influencer. So here rajulun is actually the real influencer, because if the rajulun does not exist, there is no existence of this alim. Why? Because alim is the sifat, alim is the attribute which explains or which tell us about mawsuf. If there is no mawsuf, there is no sifat. Similarly, when you are saying nasara zaidun, so there is a fail, there is a file. So if there is no fail, there is no existence of file. Understood? So one word is stronger as compared to another one, and the existence of another word is totally depends on the first word. Let's again understand with the example of AB. So the existence of B word is totally depend and proportional on existence of A. Similarly, the existence of sifat is totally based on mausuf. That's why sifat follows the rules of mausuf. If mausuf is wahid, sifat is wahid. If mausuf is tasniya, sifat is tasniya. So here sifat is not the real one. Sifat is someone who is only following the command. So here sifat is called tabe, the one who follows, one who accepts the command. That is called tabe. And mausuf is known as matbu, a person who is being followed, a person whose command is being followed by tabe. Understood? Now, in Arabic language, there are 5 types of this tabe and matbu concept. So always remember, tabe and matbu is not another chapter of Nahw, or there is nothing new in this chapter. At some level there are few new concepts which is discussed in this chapter, but you can say tabe and matbu is not actually a real chapter. It is not like marfuat, mansubat, or muzaf, muzafili, or sentence or phrases. No, these chapters only deals with those type of phrases or sentence where the two words are highly influenced by each other. So that's why under tabe and matbu, the first topic which is discussed was naat and man'ut. The naat and man'ut, you already knows this naat and man'ut with another name, that is called mausuf and sifat. Mausuf is man'ut and sifat is naat. Now, between mausuf sifat, mausuf is the real one, so mausuf will be known as matbu, and sifat is the one who follow, so sifat will be tabe. So now we can say here in tabe and matbu there must be a 4 similarities found together at the same time. So when we are saying this statement, we actually mean that between naat or man'ut or mausuf or sifat, there must be a 4 similarities found together at the same time. And we know what are all those 4 similarities. Those are i'rab, gender, quantity, and proper and common. So a mausuf sifat should be equal in these 4 similarities. Now here we learn something new. What? There are 2 types of mausuf sifat sentence, which is the new one actually. There are 2 type of mausuf sifat sentence. A sentence where mausuf is a sentence where mausuf is directly described by sifat. A first type of mausuf sifat is, or murakkab tawsifi is, a sentence where mausuf is directly described by sifat. For example, when we are saying rajulun alimun, here this rajulun word is directly described by alimun word. So that's the first part. Second type of mausuf sifat sentence is that when not the mausuf but a word related with mausuf is described by sifat. For example, in this sentence a man is being described by word alim, but suppose there is a man whose son is alim. Suppose a man whose son is alim, and now this alim is explaining about his son, not this man. So we can say here the sifat is not explaining or not describing the word alim, sorry, this man, but his son. So you can say ar-rajulu ibnuhu al-alimu. The man, his son is an alim. So here, this man is not an alim. This sifat is used for this one, ibnuhu. So this one is man'ut and al-alim is naat for this one. So these are the two type of mawsuf sifat. Now, of course, it is confusing and sometimes it is difficult to understand these things, but don't worry. As the time pass, you will be able to understand all these things very easily and clearly. Now let's understand these things with a more detail. Now the first rule is that what happens sometime, see this example here, waladun is mawsuf, okay, and this whole sentence is its sifat. Till now we have only understood and saw the examples where mawsuf and sifat are a single word, a mufrad word. But now here what we saw, that sometimes a sifat can be a complete sentence instead of a single word. So here waladun is actually a mawsuf and yarkabu ad-darraja, this whole sentence is jumle fe'liya khabariya. This whole sentence then becomes sifat, and then waladun mawsuf and this whole sentence, its sifat, becomes fa'il of this ja'a fail. So ja'a is a fail, ni is a maf'ul of mutakallim, waladun yarkabu darraja, this whole sentence is fa'il. So what is the first rule? The first rule is that sometimes a whole sentence can be a sifat. Now understand this one more time. If yarkabu is fail, who is the fa'il? Don't say darraja, darraja is maf'ul. So if yarkabu is fail, who is the fa'il? Because without fa'il there is no existence of fail. So if yarkabu is fail, there must be a fa'il, but after yarkabu there is no mention of fa'il. So we need to assume that there is a huwa, zamir, because yarkabu is a sega of wahid muzakkar gayab. So there is a huwa zamir inside it, which is its fa'il. And we all knew this, that whenever a zamir is used in a middle of sentence, not in the beginning of sentence, remember, whenever a sentence, a zamir is used in the middle of any sentence, it means that zamir is referring to the previous ism, previous proper noun. So here this huwa zamir is actually referring to this walad. So indirectly this walad is the fa'il of yarkabu. So by huwa waladun means, so by huwa actually there was a walad there. Now let's see the example. So that's why this yarkabu is wahid and muzakkar. Why? Because this walad is wahid and muzakkar. For example, if instead of waladun, if I write waladani tasniya, then I have to make this tasniya as well. So I have to say yarkabani. Why? because now here there is a huma zamir which is returning to waladani. So what we understood here is that whenever the sifat is whole sentence, still they need to be similar in wahid tasniya jama as well as muzakkar and muannas. Now the question is, what about marifa, nakira or i'rab? So the i'rab is fixed, because whenever that here the i'rab is not lafzi but mahalli. I told you what is mahalli i'rab. Mahalli is i'rab when any sentence is in the place of marfuat, mansubat or majrurat, but it cannot accept zabar zer pesh because that is not a single word but a complete sentence. So that is called i'rabul mahalli. So here the yarkabu ad-darraja is actually in the place of halate raf'i, but here the i'rab is mahalli. Now you can ask me a question that why the yarkabu ad-darraja it's in halate raf'i. So it is in halate raf'i because it is a sifat of walad, and walad is fa'il. So the i'rab of fa'il is pesh. So the walad is also mawsuf, so it has pesh. So its sifat should also have pesh, but its sifat is not a single word but a whole sentence. So we assume that this whole sentence is in halate rafi, but we cannot put pesh on this i'rab. I hope you understand this. Now instead of waladun, if I say waladatun, a girl, so I have to use here a wahid muannas word, because now here the mawsuf is muannas, so I have to use this as muannas as well. Okay. Now let's understand, analyze the whole sentence. Jaa is a fail, ni is a maful. I told you that after fail there must be a file, but there is a one condition when between file and fail maful is inserted. And what was that condition? When the maful is a zamir of zamir muttasil. So here this ni is actually a zamir mansoob muttasil. It's a zamir of wahid mutakallim. So ja'ani, ja'a fail, ni maful bihi, waladun is mawsuf, yarkabu is fail having huwa zamir fa'il, and ad-darraja is a maful, fail fa'il maful. The whole sentence becomes jumla failiya. Then the whole sentence becomes sifat. Mawsuf sifat becomes fa'il, and the fail fa'il maful all becomes jumla failiya khabariya. Now the next question is, sometime a word in the above example, what we understood that the whole sifat can be a whole word, a whole sentence can be a sifat when the word is nakira. But what when the word is marifa? So you can answer that again there is no problem, we can make the whole sentence marifa. But no, we cannot. If there is a rule that a sentence can be sifat only in that condition when the mawsuf is a nakira. Try to understand this again. A sifat can be a whole sentence only when mawsuf is nakira, as we have learned in the first example where the waladun is a nakira. But if a word mawsuf is marifa, then there that word marifa word will be no longer used as a mawsuf or no longer called as mawsuf, and similarly the sentence come after that marifa word is no longer sifat. Now, if that is not a mawsuf sifat, then what? So, we will say that marifa word as mubtada, and the sentence after that word is khabar, and then the mubtada khabar becomes file of the previous word. For example, let's understand this concept with the previous example. Suppose instead of waladun there is al waladu. So jaa is a fail, ni is a file. Now al waladu is not mawsuf sifat. Al waladu here is mubtada. Yarkabu is fail, having huwa zamir file returning to al walad. Ad darraja is maful. Fail file maful becomes jumla failiya khabariya. Then this whole sentence become khabar of this mubtada. Then mubtada khabar become file of this jaa, and now this whole sentence become jumla failiya khabariya. Now, here another thing is written that if a marifa is followed by a sentence, it will be khabar or hal. So I gave you the example of khabar. Now a sentence can also be a hal. It means same example, and the translate this al waladu. Okay, let's go back to the example. Suppose al waladu is mubtada. So I gave you the first example where we made this whole sentence as a khabar and this waladu as a mubtada, and then mubtada khabar become file. This is also right, but there is also another possibility. Make this al waladu as zulhal, and we already knew that a whole sentence can be a hal as well. So al waladu is zulhal, yarkabu is fail, huwa zamir file, and darraja is maful. Fail file, this whole sentence become hal. Then hal zulhal become file of this jaa, and the whole sentence become jumla failiya khabariya. So there is an option, either make that sentence as a mawsuf sifat or mubtada khabar. Either make the sentence as a mubtada khabar or hal zulhal when a word is marifa. And if the word is nakera, then you can treat that word as a mawsuf, and the word comes after mawsuf is sifat. Now, the second type, where we learn that a word, a sifat, is actually describing the word related with mawsuf. For example, ja'ani waladun alimun abuhu. A boy, ja'ani waladun, a boy came to me, alimun abuhu, whose father is an alim. So here, alim word is not used for walad. See the difference here. Waladun, if there is no abuhu. Ja'ani waladun alimun. So here the walad is mawsuf, alim is sifat, and mawsuf sifat becomes file of ja'ani fail. That is good. But now abuhu is written. So here this waladun is not mawsuf, and this alimun is not sifat. Not a sifat of this walad, but this alim is actually sifat of this abuhu. Now you will say that sifat always comes after mawsuf. Why there is a mawsuf written after sifat? So sifat here is written after mawsuf only to help us understand that here alim is not a sifat of walad, but
sifat of the word just comes after alim. Not understand? Let me explain you one more time. When sifat is not used for a mawsoof but used for a word related to mawsoof, or in that situation we exchange the place of mawsoof sifat, where we first write sifat and then mawsoof. And what is the reason behind changing the rule of mawsoof sifat? The only reason is that a reader should understand that here the sifat comes for not a mawsoof but a word related to mawsoof. For example, if you remove this abuhu here, alim is a sifat of walad. But now when the abuhu is added, it gives a complete idea that alim is related to abuhu, not with walad. So alim is his father, not that boy himself. But suppose if you want to follow the same rule of mawsoof sifat and you put the i'rab alimun in the ending and abuhu in the beginning, so this no one will read this as a mawsoof sifat. Why? Because abuhu, this is muzaf ilay and marefa. Alimun word is nakera. So marefa and nakera both cannot become mawsoof sifat, because in mawsoof sifat either the both parts should be marefa or nakera. So that's why these things happen. Now again you will ask another question, that it's okay, I understood that why we change the place of mawsoof sifat, but they are not actually mawsoof sifat, because again we have the same problem. One word is marefa and another word is nakera. So my answer is that these type of sentence are not the actual mawsoof sifat sentence, so they do not need to follow the same rule. Now if you look closely, this is just a general answer what I just gave you, that they are not the actual mawsoof sifat, so they do not have to follow the actual rule of mawsoof sifat. But there is also another reason why we say that these are why we say that here the nakera sifat is also capable of becoming a real mawsoof sifat. Like the one word seems like a marefa, another one is nakera, but still we are translating it as a mawsoof sifat. Why? So there is a very hidden cause here. Remember, abuhu, I told you zamir always return to its previous word. So here who is returning to waladun, and waladun is actually nakera. So this means this zamir is actually nakera. Okay? So here the word is mawsoof is actually a nakera word, not a marefa. But this is very complicated. So just remember, these are not a real mawsoof sifat, so they do not require to follow the true rules of mawsoof sifat. Now see, here also in note the reason is given that in mawsoof sifat, the real mawsoof sifat, between mawsoof sifat 4 similarities is found. But in this natun sabiyun, we can also say it as alternate mawsoof sifat or incomplete mawsoof sifat, where only 2 things should be equivalent: their i'rab and being marefa and nakera. Now point number 2, the naat will always be singular. So the naat, it means the sifat will be always similar even though its mawsoof is wahid tasniya or jama. That's why because these words are not actual mawsoof sifat. They are only a new style of explaining
the explaining these are just a new writing styles of saying the same sentence with a different method and different format. This sentence can also be written in another format where there is no confusion, but sometimes when we are reading a poetry, this type of sentence we came forward in front of us, where the rule of the general nahw and sarf is completely broken or eliminated. But actually this is not the real case. In Arabic poetry, the rules are totally different from what we read in the Nahw and Sarf book. So here this Natun Sabiyun is actually a part of Arabic poetry grammar, where we do not have to follow the same rule as we follow in the real classic Arabic grammar of Mawsuf for Mawsuf Sifat. Now let's understand the analysis. Ja'at is a fail, Imra'atun is a file, but now here Imra'atun is matbu or man'ut or mawsuf. Alimun here is you just ignore this ism file. Right now understand Alim is sifat. Ibnuha muzaf muzaf ilay, and this Ibnuha muzaf muzaf ilay is actually related to Mawsuf, you can say that. Now why I am not saying fa'ilu alimin? Because we haven't learned about ism fa'il and fa'il, so we do not have to go there. So for now just say ja'at is a fail, imra'atun is a mawsuf, alimun is a sifat, and ibnuha muzaf muzaf ilay, and this is related to imra'atun. That's it. Now the imra'atun mawsuf sifat, the imra'atun words with its sifat and its relation, completely these whole sentence become file of ja'at fail. Now you will say that this is not seems like a complete analysis of the sentence. Actually this is not, but we haven't learned ism file and file or file of ism file, so that's why we have to go through this method. Remember, analysis of any sentence should be different. It can be different, it depends on the person perspective. Okay, so the rules of tarkib or analysis is not fixed. As long you are able to understand each word, its i'rab and their relation with the another word, you are okay to go on, and you are okay, or you have a permission to do your own tarkib without any problem. For example, sometimes I just told you a few minutes ago earlier that we have two options there when the word is marifa. Either we should make this as a halzul hal or a mubtada khabar. So one person can do the analysis of that sentence as a mubtada khabar, another person can do the analysis of that sentence as a halzul hal. They both are right because they both are able to explain the exact relationship of all the words, how they are connected with each other. So if someone asks you what is tarkib and how to do tarkib, you can simply say that a tarkib is a process by which you explain how all the words in that sentence are connected with each other. So I explain you how these words are connected with each other. So that's the final tarkib. Now exercise. Translate, fill in the i'rab and point out the natun haqiqiyun and natun sabiyun. Rakibtu, I on board. Al-Hisana, the horse. Al-Jamilu, Al-Jamila, Sarajahu. So this is a Natun Sabiyun. Why? Because if there is no Sarajahu written after Jamil,
then this was the actual mawsuf sifat mawsuf sifat haqiqiyun. But after sifat there is a word written as a muzaf muzaf ilay. So here this sifat is not describing the hisan, but its thing. Sarjo is how can I say? It's a wooden wood. It made from wood and put on the horse back, by which the riders, by the help of that thing, the riders used to onboard and offboard on from the horse or on the horse. Now, huwa rajulun alimatun ibnatuhu. So again this is a natun sabiyun. Here alimatun is describing the ibnatun, not the mausuf. So rakibtu al hisan al jamila sarjuhu. I have onboarded the horse which wooden handle is beautiful. Second one is huwa rajulun alimatun ibnatuhu. He is a man and his daughter is an alim. And then we have haulai banatun aqilatun. So here this one is a mawsuf sifat haqiqi. These are intelligent girls. Shahadna, we saw. Kitaran, train. Sayruhu, his running. Sariun, was fast. So here this one is also mawsuf sifat but natun sabiyun. Then awqattu, I ignited. Misbahan, a lamp. Nuruhu qawiyun, its light was good. So here this one is also natun sabiyun. Haza amalun yanfa'u. Haza amalun yanfa'u. So haza is mubtada, amalun is mawsuf, yanfa'u is a whole sentence sifat, mawsuf sifat become khabar. This amal is providing benefits. We cannot say this this amal is, this action is beneficial. Why? Because there is a whole sentence, so we have to translate according to sentence, like providing or giving benefits. Haza manzilun zayyikun. This one is also natun haqiqun because there is no word after sifat. Ja'a rajulu al muhazzabu akhuhu. So ja'a rajulu is different. Al muhazzabu comes used for akhuhu. So the person came, the man came whose brother is very disciplined. Now analyze the following sentence and point out the difference between them. Hazal waladu zahikun. Here hazal waladu isme ishara musharun ilay mubtada and zahikun is khabar. This boy is laughing. Haza waladun zahikun. Haza, this mubtada. Waladun zahikun. Waladun is mawsuf, zahikun is sifat. So mawsuf sifat becomes khabar. So now the translation is, this is a laughing boy. Understand the difference. Here this boy is laughing. So this boy is translated together and laughing is different. Now here this is a laughing boy. Now ja'a waladu zahikan. Ja'a fail, al waladu fa'il, zahikan hal. The boy came laughing. Then we have section 3.10.2 Taqeed or Tawqeed, which we will be learning in the next class inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.